drug this thing almost 3 hours to get it out here, and this is the only practice you get. It's about the only sport in the world where you can't go out and do anything and get any kind of data. He does have a data logger on these. Most of these tractors do have data loggers. Those things will give us our ground speed. They'll give you the temperature of each cylinder. Last year, he lost an injector, couldn't figure out what was wrong with it. We back downloaded the data logger, and boy, we had a cold cylinder, number 3. Cold number 3 was a bad injector. Sent it out, had a new injector back 2 days later, put it back together, and made it down here for our hook. So, they'll give you all kinds of information. I'll give you your RPMs. You can go back through that at the end of the night, and it gets better. From the time you started it to the time you shut off, it'll record everything. On a nice bar screen for you.
I would have got excited if you were going down the road.
Let's move this young man on down through here, ladies and gentlemen. He's dying to get a hook jacket down the track here. Let's move this out on down through here, folks. Not gonna go. It's not gonna go. Just not happening. Don't let it lug it out there. That's hard on those motors. Get her shut down. Distance don't matter. You're running exhibition anyway. Here comes the good selling stuff, folks. We gotta bottle that stuff up and sell it.
Oh yeah, you gotta be smart going down the highway. So you can get in fucking trouble.
Keep telling my wife I want to bottle that up for cologne. You've got to sum it off, folks. Let's give that young man a round of applause. That's a long way to drag a tractor to have those kinds of problems. We'll get her figured out. He's got some good help there in the pits. He'll get her straightened out. We'll be back. Ken, you need a tow tractor? Now we're going to go right into our 2.6 trucks. So Brody Wright from McClurkier with a foot disaster, followed by Matt Hayes from Catawissa. Well, little by little, we do need a tow-off tractor, folks. Dave Owen Jr. from Middleburg with his 99 F350. Renee Dean from LOC with a harvest record. Tyler Beckman from Gilmont with his Dodge 2500. We'll round out our 2.6 trucks. We have our cameraman extraordinaire down here, working the camera here at the 200-foot mark. David Gall from up in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Low boy operator extraordinaire. He's out here moonlighting as a camera operator here tonight. One of the more experienced camera operators you're going to see. He's got many years of experience.
Fucking all the time.
They said if I can't screw it up, nobody can.
I hope that's not. Yeah, that's.
Keep your chin up, gang. We'll get it figured out. Let's give another round of applause, folks. That boy's trying as ejected as they can, and we'll get it figured out. He'll be back. I'm going to pull a little bit of weight off the sled.
Started our Pro Street gas truck class here, and it's one of the things that are sponsors for the class today. Diesel, sorry. He said diesel. And that one's going to be REX Transport.
Every season starts with decisions, not just what to plant, but why. Seed IQ is the industry's first product management platform, built to help you make confident product decisions before a single seed goes in the ground. From practical farm research to root reveal, silk reveal, and kernel reveal. Powered by AI, Seed IQ turns decades of data into practical, trusted insights, backed by Beck's proprietary research.
Well, they brought it up here tonight to try to work through some issues. A lot of technology goes into that, and they're trying to get her figured out. Meanwhile, Joby Wright from McClure with a truck he calls flirting with disaster. These trucks weigh 8,000 pounds, limited to 2.6-inch smoothbore turbo, no water injection or intercoolers, no rear wheels, no rear dual wheels, and they are limited to a 35 by 12.5 tires. So another truck that's fighting some gremlins. Hopefully that's not a theme for this evening. If it's mechanical, it'll give you a headache.
We only have a 750 I told him.
Their big brothers are coming in here later. 3.0 trucks here. We got a few of them here. So this is a fun class. These guys do run on street tires. They are not running cut tires or anything like that. No bar tires. Most of these trucks do utilize the 5.9 and 6.7 Cummins motors. They're pretty much bulletproof. You do have a few V8s here and there, but the V8s are, when you get them right, boy, they are tough to beat. But boy, it's tough. It's very expensive to get a V8 to run. Not that these are cheap. The 5.9s or the 6.7s, but boy, oh boy, you can buy parts just about anywhere for them. There's builders all over the country, and once you step out of the norm, like you with the tractors, you step out of the International and the John Deere realm, and you start running other motors, it kind of makes it hard to find part builders. Like I run an 8.3 Cummins. There's not a lot of guys that make parts for the 8.3, so you struggle just a little bit getting parts, but they are out there. Just like the Massey Ferguson guys with the V8s. It's tougher to find guys, but there are guys out there. Same with the Fords. The John Deere's International is the most prevalent. And the trucks, the 5.9 and 6.7 Cummins is pretty much where it's been at. One of our 3.0 guys stepped up in the unlimited ranks this year, Matt Holbrook, and boy, oh boy, those big single charger trucks, they really make the horsepower. His first hook out, went out and ripped the whole entire drive line out of it. So the more power you make, the more parts you break. So hopefully this is just a simple matter of battery issues. I still say we need an interstate battery sponsor around here. Matt or Bob Houck to the announcer stand, please. They have a couple of questions for you up here. Matt or Bob Houck to the announcer stand, please. Matt, your mother says to come to the announcer stand. Matt, we've got it. Your dad come up. Oh boy, kind of sounded like a crossover pipe popped off there. We need a tow-off tractor, please. Here he comes. This Hoover Tractor Coyote is getting quite the workout tonight. It's not something you want to see, but we appreciate him having it here. Early in the season, there's you thrash to get these things together, and every once in a while, he is going to drop and come back last. It's easy to forget to tighten up a clamp, tighten up a bolt, and you'll find stuff like this. Get out here, like I said, there's no practice, so they get out here in front of a couple thousand of their closest friends and wind it up and turn it loose and see what's going to fly off. So nothing broke major, so they should be able to tighten that clamp up and be good to go. And the other thing we can do, you see him moving the sled on the starting line, is you can put that sled anywhere you want inside those chalk lines. You can start on the left, you can start on the right. You're going to notice the tractor guys kind of go down the center because the only steering we have is with the brakes. Every time you touch the brakes, you lose distance. So we try to stay towards the center, a couple feet inside the lines. These truck guys have the ability to get pretty brave, and they can put it right over on the chalk because they got steering. They can steer it wherever they want. All their weight's up over the front. People ask, why do we have the weight box up front? Why do they put it out? Well, you want as much weight up over the front because the drive tires are taken care of by the sled. So if they're allowed to weigh 8,000 pounds and the truck weighs 6,000, they take that other 2,000 pounds and bring it right up front over that front end, get everything out front as far as you can get it. Put your batteries up there, your fuel cell up there. Get as much weight as far forward up on top of those front tires so you can keep them planted. As you come down the track, you do not want those front tires coming unplanted, so that's the reason behind the weight boxes. You'll see some of these guys have rollers up on the front. Well, what is that for? Well, that's simple. That's basically getting them in and out of the trailers so that when it hits the beaver tail coming off the trailers, it don't rip the weight box off. So they'll go rollers off. Some go all the way across the front. Some just go on the corners. I watched the guy on one load one over here today, and it was catch on the ramps down. When he comes back, he'll probably have rollers under the front to keep that from happening. So now the sled still isn't set. So Matt Mace is going to be our next one to the hook. While he's getting set, we have a trivia question for you, folks. This one here is going to give out a free Senpico hat. How many years have Senpico lubricants been a family business? Anybody can tell me that? How many years has Senpico lubricants been a family business? You can tell me the answer to that. We have a free hat up here. So Matt Mays coming to us out of Catawissa. This class is kind of a jumper class for these guys. A lot of these guys start off in this. They step into 3.0 in the unlimited classes. A lot of the guys stay right in this class because it's a little bit more affordable. It's not quite as hard on parts with that smaller turbocharger. Once you get it together, you don't worry so much about the motors. You do your driveline parts. So Matt Mays from Catawissa. Stretching that Cummins out through there, ladies and gentlemen. 3:56.23 at 30.3 miles an hour. Matt had her hooked to the track, and boy, he found a gear that works, and he's got her down through there. So we did have an answer to that. 115 years. Senpico Lubricants has been a family-owned business. So we did have a winner. So Dave Irwin Jr. is in the hole from Middleburg, PA with his 1999 Ford. Here we go, folks. Building a boost. He's got to get this down through there. Dave Irwin Jr. Solid run. He's right up on that cone. Think we might have ourselves a new leader here. We'll wait for the distance board.
Oh, not quite. Looks like we have 333.63 for Dave.
He gave her a ride, folks. Anybody have a guess? How much horsepower do you think these 2.6 diesels are putting out? Anybody have a guess? Who has the best guess? How much horsepower are these 2.6 diesels putting out? Anybody have a guess? How much you think? How much you guys think? A little light. How much you think? Oh, that's too much. Not a little too much. How much you think? You're close. You're getting closer. 8.5. We had 1,500. Anybody got another guess? Most of these guys are right around 1,000 horse in this class. You get up into these 3.0s, we're probably going to be banging on 1,500 to 1,600, but they're going to build a lot of torque. Those 3.0 trucks, they have intercoolers and they're injecting water right into the crossover and right down on top of each piston, which gives a lot more cooling. On a humid night like tonight, you'll see these 3.0s will run like they did in the fall when it was 45, 50 degrees out. These trucks here, without the intercoolers and no water injection, these things are pretty warm here tonight. So a lot of them are still running radiators to help cool things off a little bit, but they are not allowed to have intercoolers. Those intercoolers, those guys dump ice in there, and they put 80 to 100 pounds ice in those intercoolers. And what happens there is it starts off up there as ice. They get down here at the finish line. There's nothing but warm water. You can put your hand down. It's not hot, but it's good and warm. And there won't be any ice cubes left floating in that. And that condenses that air and forces that air down inside those pistons and builds a little bit more horsepower. So that's the advantage of having an intercooler. This is one of our starter classes for the professional ranks of pulling, and they aren't quite allowed to have that. We do that to keep the cost down and keep the performance down a little bit so they don't break parts, which brings them back next week and gets them started. And as they start to build a truck, the parts, a lot of these parts will carry over to the next class. The motors will carry over. They'll just put bigger turbochargers on them, bigger injection pumps. So that's why we do that. It brings the performance down, but it doesn't break the parts like the big 3.0s in the unlimited class. So that's why we do that.
Hooked up right now, we have Renee Dean from Elwood City on the truck they like to call Harvest Wrecker. Renee had a distance of 3:29.72. The light pro tractors can get weighed and tacked up here and get lined up at the starting line. We'll be moving into that class next. Pulling up to hook up here, we got Kyler Zeckman from Millmont. Sponsor for our 2.6 truck class. Here we have RES Transport.
take notice of the difference in the starting line techniques of some of these guys. A lot of these pulls with these trucks, there's won and lost on the starting line. The guy with the best, smoothest start, a lot of times, and get the right boost off there and pick the right gear. A lot of your hooks are won and lost right here in the starting line. Let's watch his technique and see what he's got. Put it right in the pile, he did. Nice solid run out of that truck. You'll notice later on in the bigger class, you'll see the guys feathering the throttle in and out. They're trying to hook those tires to the track. These guys don't have quite the horsepower, so they can come off the line and floorboard it. They're coming off the line probably about 4,800 RPM. The guys in the next class will too, but they got that extra 600 horsepower and a little bit more torque. Those intercoolers probably add a couple hundred foot-pounds of torque to these 5.9s and 6.7s. So a lot of them are running a 6.4 combination, a 5.9 motor with a 6.4 with a 6.7 crank, puts them right around 6.4. There are some 6.7s out here, but the majority of them are running that 6.4. But those intercoolers give them a little bit more torque. You'll see and notice the difference, so I'll bring it up later on. You watch them. Some of those guys will come out and they'll start feathering it off the line, and they're just trying to get those tires hooked up. These guys only have 4. The next class, they'll be running 6 tires. They can run duals in the back. So a little bit of difference between these two classes. A lot in common, but a little bit of difference as well.
Kyler's distance was 324.69.
That's because So they're back for their official hook here. They were able to drop that. They were the test hook. And they blew that clamp off. These turbochargers build quite a bit of boost. He's probably putting 50, 60 pounds of boost into that motor, maybe a little bit more. And if you don't have those clamps just right, a lot of guys haven't learned you have to go to a V-band. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they'll still come off, but for the most part, you get a V-band on, they will not come apart. And more than likely, for him to be back out here, that's all it was. So they got her tightened up. Now let's hope that he has that thing tight enough that it will make a pass. Yep, that's what it is. But he'll go home, and somebody back there will tell him what he has to do there, but something's coming apart. Nothing terminal. Let's give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. He has his helmet off. That's a long ride to get here. A lot of work, a lot of preparation, a lot of washing, a lot of cleaning.
Yep, that's what it is.
He'll go home.
Somebody back there will tell him what he has to do there, but something's coming apart.
Run down here for just a minute, and then we'll get into some noisemakers. So we have some gas trucks coming up. Ooh, we have our big tractors coming up here next, folks. We have some light pro stocks. This is a fun class. Oh, thank you, sir. Okay, folks, we are going into our light pro stock class. Matt Siddall from Danville with a green-blooded. I believe this is a 4-1 tractor, which means it is 640 cubic inches with a 4.1-inch turbocharger. He will be our largest tractor here tonight. Following him is going to be Rick Halleck from Winfield, PA with a little stinker. And that tractor is a mod turbo. 540 cubic inches, no intercooler. Running an A-pump and a big turbocharger. Josh Beechel from McClure, PA with a Hustle and Harvester. Josh was one of our hot stock tractors for many, many years. He got out of it for a while. Now he is back in it with a mod turbo. And DJ Boop. Oh, did they? Okay. All right, thank you. We do have one coming back. I forgot about Mr. Mace. They reset the sled. But after Josh, we will have DJ Boop with a High on the Hog. That is another mod turbo after we run this last truck. Mr. Matt Mace. Yeah, we never got the memo. I didn't realize they reset the sled, so we apologize for that. But this will be Matt Mace for his official hook. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? I believe he was holding out on us. We've got a new leader, 3:39.96. Mr. Matt Mace saving the best for last. What a run. Solid performance out of Matt. Truck lock everything together. Matt's a many-year performer in this class, does a whale of a job. So now we'll do a sled change and we'll slide into our big tractor class of the night. These tractors here are going to have a swing of horsepower. This class is set up for a light pro stock, which a couple of those guys are not back together yet. A couple of our 4-1 tractors, the elbow deep tractor who comes down with us, he is not together. His truck's up there waiting for the dyno of all things. He's been sitting there waiting on the dyno for 3.5 weeks. So he's still waiting to get put back together. So some of the mod turbo guys, they're stepping in here tonight. So we have one limited pro here, a 4-1 tractor. And the rest of them is going to be mod turbos. They're giving up some horsepower to him. But you never know. That's why we hook them. That light pro, that 4.1 is probably in excess, right around 2,800 to 3,000 horsepower. And I would think that our mod turbos are a little over 2. They used to be around 1,800. I think they're probably pushing 2,200, 2,300 horsepower here today. So you see him throwing some weights in that Krause transfer machine. Mr. Brian Yoder, one of the best in the industry up there. He's up there on top there. He is the sled operator. He handles all the pulls for Krause in the western central and western part of the state. When we hook up with Brian's sled, you know he's going to put on a show for you, so you put it up in the tall gear and just...
Central Petroleum Company, better known as Sempico Lubricants, is a trusted name for high quality and performance lubricants. Sempico lubricants are proven to excel in heavy-duty applications with over 260 national and international championship pulling titles. Sempico lubricant customers have proven the benefits and savings of trusting their equipment to Sempico lubricants. If you own or operate trucks, tractors, or heavy equipment, call today 1-800-553-1891 or online at sempico.com.
Every season starts with decisions, not just what to plant, but why. Seed IQ is the industry's first product management platform, built to help you make confident product decisions before a single seed goes in the ground. From practical farm research to root reveal, silk reveal, and kernel reveal. Powered by AI, Seed IQ turns decades of data into practical, trusted insights backed by Beck's proprietary research. Don't just manage your fields, unlock the full potential of every product with Seed IQ.
A 4-1 tractor that's pulling out here right now. These tractors are pushing, these 4-1s are pushing right around 3,000 horsepower. Probably coming off the line about 4,000, 4,500 RPM. It is a big block here. They don't turn quite as many RPMs as the small blocks do. But boy, do they have the torque, and he has that big old 4-inch turbocharger on there. They do not run intercoolers. They run a P7100 pump and that big old turbocharger. A lot of stroke in the crank. Some big old pistons in there. They're limited to 640 cubic inches. Which is one of the reasons why these guys like the John Deeres. They're really close to a stock cubic inches compared to a 466 International. And they just got a lot more life and a lot of torque in them right naturally. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? That is picking them up and putting them down at 33.9 mile an hour. Matt Siddall, 347.89 at 33.9 miles an hour. That is a whale of a run, and these little mod turbos are really going to have to struggle to catch up to that one. That sled was set just about perfect. Gentlemen, that is picking them up and putting them down at 33.9 mile an hour. Matt Siddall, 347.89 and 33.9 miles an hour. So we're looking at a hell of a run. He's a little stinker. We're really going to have to struggle to catch up to that with garbage tractor. This big boy. This is a mod turbo, just about perfect. Originated in the interstate modes in southeastern Pennsylvania. 540 cubic inches. These tractors now, I don't believe Rick's running one, but some of these mod turbos are running up to a 5-inch turbocharger. Down there at Keystone, some of those Ford boys threw a 5-inch turbocharger on here. Years ago, we did not have enough fuel with the 8 pumps to turn a 5-inch turbocharger. This class started out around a 3.4, 3.6 turbocharger. Then you have 3.9 was a big turbocharger. Then a couple guys got them at the 4.1s and 4.3s. In the last couple years, the turbocharger technology and the fuel pump technology has really taken off. The injector lines, the injectors, there's so much into it, the crossover pipes, and now some of these guys are running up to a 5-inch turbo. I don't think anybody here tonight is. If I would take a guess, a big turbo here in this class tonight would probably be a 4.6. There might be a 4.8 out, 4.9 here somewhere, but I believe most of these guys are 4.5, 4.6 turbochargers. And these guys are pushing a little over 2,000 horsepower, probably 2,300. And in their class is really a lot of fun. This is one of my favorite classes, the mod turbo class. They put out the horsepower, but they're not terribly, terribly hard on parts. There's a couple blocks out here that have, geez, hundreds of hooks on them. Most of these mod turbos still run a stock block. As you get into the light pros and up, those guys are running what we call a recast block that is made out of billet steel and aluminum just for pulling. But a lot of these tractors here still run, they can still run a stock block. It's bored out to 540 cubic inches with a little bit of stroke and a little bit of bore. So Rick Houck with a little stinker from Winfield, PA. Solid run for Rick. We're looking at 289.92 at 29.2 miles an hour. And that right there is a difference in cubic inch. Shows up big time in the distance here. So that's a huge difference. So Josh Beechel from Lork, PA with a Hustle and Harvester. I haven't seen, I believe this tractor's made a couple hits this year, but he just got this thing back there last year and came back out after a hiatus. What I remember about Josh is his tractors were always very well tuned, very strong running tractors.
Solid run for Rick.
We're looking at 289.92 at 29.2 miles an hour. Right there's the difference in cubic inch. Shows up big time in the distance. That's a huge difference. Josh Beecher from York, PA. That's an harvester. I haven't seen, I believe this tractor made a couple hits this year, but he just got this thing back there last year and came back out after a hiatus. What I remember about Josh is his tractors were always very well tuned, very strong running tractors, solid. Once again, we thank Hoover Equipment for the loan us the equipment here, these beautiful Coyote tractors. This track crew would really bust their butt. They really do a good job. We had all that rain there. The track was covered, but it still gets a lot of moisture in there, and these boys did a whale of a job in a short amount of time to get this together. So while we got a moment, could we have a round of applause for our track crew here tonight, ladies and gentlemen? They do a heck of a job. It's a thankless job. And they're doing a heck of a job keeping everything in really good shape here tonight. So it looks like DJ Boop's going to make the call. He must be having a little trouble with a hustle and harvester down there. So DJ Boop with a high on the hog. This is another mod turbo. One thing you see, a lot of these guys are using a spotter to get back into the sled. What happens there is once you get those belts strapped in tight, didn't really realize it until I did it myself, you cannot see nothing behind you. Even the little things like reaching up to change from forward to reverse and reverse to forward. Boy, oh boy, you almost have to take one arm off and then put it back in there. And when you're out on the track, you want to do as little as possible to stop your thinking. Your brain's going a mile a minute. What are you forgetting? What are you turning on? What didn't you turn on? So a lot of these guys use a spotter so they don't have to turn around to see back and in. So unlike our clutches, you don't see, there's no clutch brakes on these. So a lot of times you hear them grind them into gear. There's nothing to slow that transmission down to get it into gear. So a lot of times you hear them grind in. Sometimes they'll slide right in. A lot of times they won't. Ooh, she not happy. I don't know if he had an ejector laid down. Something did not sound too good there about that 150-foot mark. So he's going to spin that in there at 233.03 at 24.8 miles an hour. Disappointing run for DJ. Been fighting some gremlins with it. Something did not sound too good there about that 50-foot mark. Spin that in there at 2:33.03 at 24.8 miles an hour. Disappointing.
For our enhanced pullers and our 2.6 pullers, we have payout ready. And if you're DQ'd, there still is payout for some of you guys. So if you want to come up, look at the results, come to the announcer's stand. So it looks like we got Josh Beachel from McClure here backing up the sled. He's going to give it a try.
So Josh has a run in here. This is a good-looking, good-running tractor, folks. I have not seen this tractor make a pass. I do believe he was out once or twice this year, maybe. So it'll be interesting to see how this tractor runs. Like I said, back when he was a hot stock tractor, it was the one to beat. I do believe he was a points champion in that class. So curious how he does as a mod turbo. Got those 24.532 Firestones on the back. Heck of a run on that tractor. 3:16.25 at 31.9 miles an hour. You see that white water coming out down the passenger side of that truck or tractor there? That is his water injection. He must have a water injection line loose, and that we put cutting oil in the water to lubricate the pumps so that these pumps don't seize up. So that's what the white water is running down the side of that. That was an awful strong run from that guy. I didn't expect much less. Boy, when he gets the tractor together, it will really run.
Our sponsor for that class again is
Our next class is the 3.0 Pro Street Diesel. Heck of a run on that tractor. 3:16.25 at 31.9 miles an hour. Thomasville being, see that white water coming out down the past the side of the tractor there for diesel. So there's only three, but boy, these trucks really put on a show.
If the hot stock guys can get their tractors ready and up at the starting line. Our 3.0 truck class today is sponsored by C.H. Waltz Sons, Inc. We appreciate their sponsorship for this class.
Pull some weight out of the sled here real quick, lighten it up for these trucks. These trucks only weigh around 8,000 pounds, so they got to pull a little bit of weight out so they can get everything rolling.
We'd like to thank our platinum sponsors for our pull tonight here. We have Sempico Lubricants, Hackenberg's Garage Inc., Hoover's Tractor, AKE Stock Freight, and our diamond sponsor is Jersey Shore Livestock. We appreciate the sponsorship that each one of those businesses give us to be able to put these shows on.
So the winner of that class is Matt Siddall from Danville with a green blooded at 3:47.89. Second place, Josh Beecher with a Hustle and Harvester at 3:16.25. Third place, Rick Houck from Winfield with a Lil Stinker at 2:89.92. And fourth place, DJ Boop with a High on the Hog.
Central Petroleum Company, better known as Sempico Lubricants, is a trusted name for high quality and performance lubricants. Sempico lubricants are proven to excel in heavy-duty applications with over 260 national and international championship pulling titles. Sempico lubricant customers have proven the benefits and savings of trusting their equipment to Sempico lubricants. If you own or operate trucks, tractors, or heavy equipment, call today 1-800-553-1891 or online at sempico.com.
Right up there, 3:32.71 at 31 miles an hour. You notice back here, right around the 180-foot mark, that pan started to drop, and he had so much ground speed, he's able to drag that sled on down through there. That was a whale of a run by Brendan. 3:34.16 at 31 miles an hour. Right up there, 3:32.71 at 31 miles an hour. You notice back here, right around the 180-foot mark, that pan started to drop. And he had so much ground speed, he was able to drag that sled on down through. There goes Greg Walker, the Dreams Happen truck, strong running truck. Been out here many, many years. You see what I was talking about, the difference with the dual wheels? And you could hear the RPMs in these trucks, how they just held the RPMs up there. And boy, they just carry their ground speed. A little more weight in the sled. The gearing's a little bit different for the sled, so they don't have the exact same setup in the sled that the 2.6 guys did, because these guys have that extra 500 horsepower and a lot more torque. I'd guess at least probably 400 or 500 foot-pounds more torque, and that makes all the difference in pulling. Horsepower is nice, but torque's what wind pulls, and these intercoolers really help with that. Then you get this little extra horsepower and a little extra torque. It's a little bit harder on parts, so your driveline has to be right. Everything's pretty much built in, all profab parts in the driveline and stuff like that. They're drop boxes. They have the quick change gears in it, so they can go down there just like the big gas four-wheel drives. They can do quick change in the gears and get into different track situations. They can up their gears, down them in a hurry. Sled hit him hard, hit him fast, but he is right up there on the pile. You notice a lot of times, especially with our tractors, when that box comes up and hits, it hits hard enough that it gives you that little bit of shot and adds a couple of feet to your distance. You can just feel that hit. You can feel that in the back of your neck and your helmet when that sled hits as hard as it did there. The way that sounded, that's the way that sled will hit sometimes, especially when you start hitting that 27 to 30 mile an hour range. So he was right up in there at 31.2 mile an hour. What do we have for a distance on him?
Distance for him puts him at the top of the class right now with 337.59.
So we have a new leader to set the mark here. We have one more to go. So that's hitting hard, hitting fast. He is right up there on the pile. It hits hard enough. It gives that little bit of shot. Just feel that hit. You feel it back and back and back. The way that sounded.
Sponsor for this class is C.H. Waltz Sons, Inc. We're waiting for Jason Heimbach from Middleburg, Heimbach's Diesel, to see if they can take their Ford for a run.
Right up on that pile. There's a veteran driver coming at you, ladies and gentlemen. These boys, these truck guys, they like to build a road. And they got that right side working down through. Earlier today it was a little soft in through here, but they've got a road built through that. And they just keep piling on. And he is right up there. What do you have for distance up there?
338.04, so he is our new leader.
There we go. There's a winner of the class, Mr. Jason Heimbach with a Heimbach diesel truck. So now we're going to slide right into do another reset. We'll slide into our hot stock tractors. And boy, folks, these guys will put on a show for you. These hot stock tractors are 540 cubic inches, most of them. They go all the way up to 619. But the majority of the class is around 540. A couple of those cases and a couple other tractors are up around that 619 cubic inch. They run a 3x3.5 inch turbocharger, an A pump. They can run intercoolers, and they are 10,500 pounds. And these guys run anywhere from 15 to 1,800 horsepower with these tractors. A couple of them might be pushing that 2,000 horsepower mark. There's a doggone case that's been stinking up the show around this establishment for the last couple of years. And boy, I'll tell you what, he got beat last week for the first time.
All right, Chase Diamond here, CS Pulling Promotions, talking with Dustin Harrison, Apex Diesel. Dustin, you're the new title sponsor of the 2.6 Pro Street Diesel class.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about Apex Diesel, what you guys do.
So biggest thing we do, performance and repair, diesel trucks, everything's diesel. About 75% of our business is machining, truck pulling, we're really oriented towards truck pulling. That's what I do. Trevor that works for me, that's what he does too. That side's more of the repair shop side. So we do a lot of repair, a lot of Cummins, but we do the big three: Power Stroke, Duramax, Cummins. A lot of online sales. The safety components, turbo, we do a lot of turbochargers, a lot of engines, a lot of safety components. That's getting to be a really big, the turbine crosses. Within the last couple of years, that's been a really big thing. The safety compressor crosses, that's getting to be another. A lot of trinkety stuff. We do a lot of block off plates, intake runners, front covers. We're trying to do as much stuff on this as we can, but there's a lot of stuff that we don't do. We depend on a lot of other really good people. So
absolutely, and you guys have been with CS Pulling Promotions since the very beginning for the most part.
Yep.
And you guys have grown leaps and bounds, especially with the new online store. Tell us a little about that.
It's just getting to be the way of the world anymore. A lot of people, it's easy. I mean, you can get online, and we're trying to make the checkout as easy as you can. You get online, you got a question about anything, most of the questions can be answered just by looking through the listing. You figure out what fits, what you need. But we still do a lot of custom stuff. So people call in, they find you through the website, they call in, and because not everything's one size fits all. But yeah, it's just a lot easier. I mean, you could be at home 9 o'clock at night, laying in bed, and you think, oh man, I need this. Well, back in the day, before we really had a very good website, they had to call the next day, and it just got to be one of them things to where it just works out a lot better for everybody. It's a lot easier on the customer too. And ApexDieselPerformance.com. ApexDiesel.com. We own that too, so it'll take you to it. But ApexDieselPerformance.com.
Awesome. Super excited to have you back.
Yep.
Thanks, Dustin.
Hot stock tractor is going to be Nathan Criswell from Lewisburg on a tractor he likes to call Showcase.
Luke put this tractor back together last year. Towards the end of the season, he's sharing the seat with his son this year, Nathan. And Nathan had a whale of a run last year. He had a couple good runs this year with it. And this tractor is 540 cubic inch, I do believe, case powered. And he is running that 3x3.5 inch turbocharger. This tractor is probably around that 15 to 1600 horsepower range. Strong contender. Usually runs right there in the top 5, top 3. So Luke and I pulled together about 15, 20 years ago. He's still running the same exact tractor today he was then. Made a lot of changes, got a chassis underneath it. These tractors do have all the safety equipment on them. They have the guillotines on them to shut the air off in front of the turbocharger. There's a 3-way dump valve that the driver can pull from his seat that returns the fuel to the tank in case it sticks a plunger. So you pull that and you pull the guillotine, it'll shut that motor down. We have blankets over top of the turbocharger to keep all those parts contained in case the turbocharger fails. All kinds of safety equipment on these. Steel flywheels, blankets over the clutches. Ooh, she don't sound too happy, but she's coming to life. That was a problem he had last week. These are new tires to him, and air pressure is very, very critical. And he did the smart thing there. He let out of it because that thing, he's probably going to drop that.
Just got confirmation he is going to drop that hook and come back later.
That wasn't what he was looking for. It was just, he's fighting air pressure on that, but he's got a couple buddies out here in the pits. They'll do some adjusting on the air pressure, and he will be back. They dropped his air pressure pretty low on these tires. It was very critical. Watch that. That's a problem he had last week. New tires in some testing. Air pressure was very, very critical. He did the smart thing there. He let out of it. I think he's probably going to drop that. One of the other things he can change around there is he can move weights around. He can move some weight to the back. He can move some weight to the front. So it all comes down to weight placement, gear selection, and tire pressure. And then the horsepower and the torque come in last. You can have all the horsepower in the world, but if you don't get that tractor balanced correctly, you want that front end to come up off the line and then settle back down to about a foot, foot and a half off the ground. And, sitting on the wheelie bars is slowing you down. If it starts to turn, you're standing on the brake. Every time you touch the brake, you use about 10 feet. And that's the old saying, could be even more than that. But the biggest thing is you want that hitch as high as you can get it. We run a 20-inch hitch with these tractors. It gets measured over on the scale, and they set the hitch at 20 inches because you pull across, you're not allowed to touch it. So if you have that sitting on the wheelie bars, you're lowering that hitch about 6 to 8 inches. So if you can get your tractor set up where you're keeping that thing about 6-8 inches off the ground, your hitch height is higher, which is lifting up on the front of the sled. As you're lifting the sled up, it's easier to pull. When you're sitting on the wheelie bars, the whole sled sits on the ground, and it makes it even harder to pull. So that's something to watch as these guys come down through here. And you're never going to see somebody that's sitting on the wheelie bars go out the end and win the pull. The guy that's going to win is going to have his tractor balanced. He's going to have the right gear and the right air pressure. As you just saw, you miss the air pressure by a pound, that thing turns into a basketball. Those big 24.5, 32 tires will just start bouncing. And the more they bounce, that is very, very hard on rear end parts.
Pulling up to get hooked up now is going to be Jeff Breininger from Winfield on a tractor he likes to call Red Law.
There's another strong run. There's no slouches in this class, except for my tractor. I like to finish last, give all these guys a chance to take the money home. So I've been practicing finishing last for quite a few years here. So we're working on it. We picked up a couple hundred horsepower this winter. So we'll see where she shakes out if we ever get it back together. So but Ty's a strong running tractor. He's a contender. If he gets this thing balanced out, this is one of those 540 cubic inch motors. So we will be giving up a little bit of horsepower to those big bad cases, but again, all of us do. Drivers are all wearing fire suits. They have the 5-point harnesses on there to keep them strapped into the seat. When these things start rocking around like Lucas did there, you want those belts just as tight as you can get them, because you whack your head off that steel post on the side of there. That really hurts. It'll ring your bell a little bit. They have DOT-approved helmets, but it still hurts. You see the two fuel tanks. One tank in the front is fuel, and the other one is for water. We're injecting water in the crossover pipe and right in the top of each one of those pistons, so it keeps everything cooled down inside the motor, as well as running an intercooler. That's not what he wanted to do. Well, I think he come off the clutch a little bit hard, so he has a second shot of that. He has to 100 foot to get it shut down and brought back. So what you want to do is you want to bring that up. You're going to launch that out of there about 4,500, 4,800 RPM and just ease the clutch. That's not what
That's not what he wanted to do.
I think he
flushed a little bit harder, so he has the second shot of that.
You want to get up and moving. The farther you slip the clutch, the longer it takes to get up to speed. When you hit that 150-foot mark, you want to be starting to max out and still gain a little bit of speed. By 200 feet, you want to be max speed. So you're picking as big a gear as you can run and get it up and get up to speed as quick as possible. So this is his final attempt right here. He's waiting for the green flag, waiting for the green lights on the sled. So he's got to get everything pulled back tight, get it picked out of gear. Like I said, he has those seat belts on. You can't reach down to shift that tractor. So that's his buddy Moore gave him a little bit of hand, get the belts back on. One of the biggest things he wants to do now is not think about what he just did. Now you want to let your reflexes take over and just wind that right up and then ease out on that clutch. Don't dump it. Ease it out a little bit. There you go. That's better. But we're having a few issues there. But that will be his final attempt. So whatever distance he gets there, that will be measured. We are measuring these tractors off of a system we call Agtronics. There's a wheel underneath the back of that sled that's measuring the ground speed and the distance. That uses the wheel and there you go. That's better.
That will be his final attempt. So whatever this gets it out, measured.
We are measuring.
That'll put Jeff's distance at 62.59.
5, 6. Testing 1, 2. 1, 2. Testing 1, 2.
If everybody wants to get their calendars out on their phones, July 11th at 6 p.m. here in Selinsgrove, we'll have these tractors back here pulling again, so make sure you mark that to come back and see these guys come down. That's also going to be our kids' night, 4 to 6. We'll have some activities for some kids to do. We'll have the tractors for them to look at and all sorts of things, so make sure to mark that in your phone. Backing up now, we have Nelson Harding from Pines Grove, PA, with the Road Gear Row Crop.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a tractor that's not supposed to be able to compete. This is an East Coast hot stock tractor. These tractors are 466 cubic inches with a 3x4 turbocharger, and I believe it's 3x3.5 inch turbocharger. And this tractor is not supposed to be run with these big cubic inch tractors. But somebody forgot to tell Nelson that. And you watch this little sucker. This tractor will come out here, and if he does his job, he is one of the finest tuners in this sport. His tractor is always tuned just about right. And if he has 1,500 horsepower, he is going to put 1,500 horsepower to the ground. And he can read a track, and he can weight a tractor. And this man gets every ounce of power out of this tractor. It's not supposed to be able to compete. But let me tell you, somebody forgot to tell him that a 466 tractor cannot compete with a 540 or a 619, because Nelson Harding from Pine Grove, Pennsylvania, down at the 100-mile marker off 81 with a Road Gear. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? A 466 cubic inch tractor. Wow. That boy can pick him up and put him down, and he can drive a tractor.
Nelson's distance was 328.68 and going at 32.4 mile an hour.
That is moving for a 466 cubic inch tractor, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give that man a round of applause, folks. Nelson Harding from Pine Grove, Pennsylvania. He had a long ride up here. He's down there at the 100-mile marker off 81. That thing really runs. Glad to see him always make the trip. He runs for points with the East Coast pullers. It's called Atlantic Pro Pulling now. And mile marker off 81 with a road here. That's a tough mark to beat. Look at the balance on that track. Going up high. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? A 466 cubic inch tractor. Wow. That boy can pick him up and put him down, and he can drive a tractor. Put the timing back into it. Pulled some timing out of it. Settle that motor back. She is working right now.
If our Pro Street gas trucks can start getting weighed and working their way to the front of this track.
Comes another one of our big block John Deere tractors coming out here. This tractor here is a strong runner. I believe it's the one that won last week. Very strong running tractor. This is a 619 cubic inch John Deere. Looks like Matt Siddall behind the wheel here tonight. This track's really holding up good tonight. Something I would categorize as a power track. So these high cubic inch tractors should have a little bit of an advantage. We'll see how that shakes out. Nelson had a whale of a run, so he's got it out there. We'll see what Matt can do here with his tractor tonight. We've got a new leader, 3:36.11 at 32.5 miles an hour. That's a whale of a run by Matt. Just put right around 7.5 feet on top of Nelson's run. And we still have some heavy hitters back there in the pits to go here tonight.
Matt can do it here with his tractor tonight.
Yeah.
So Matt Houck in the hole with a tractor he calls Old Red. Matt's done quite a bit of work to this tractor this winter, has made some advancements with it. He's got a new turbocharger on it, sent a fuel pump out, had some work done to it, did a little more engine work on it, and slowly been making some changes. But now what you have to do is it takes a little while to get all the fine tuning done. 'Cause now you can play with your timing and put a little more timing into it, take a little bit of timing out. Just get everything fine-tuned, adjust your water injection. He was having some issues with the intercooler the last couple weeks. He's putting smaller pipes on it to get a little more flow through the intercooler. Solid run for Matt. He's going to like that one. 3:25:40:91 at 30.8 miles an hour. I know he's smiling. That is a solid run for Matt. And you know the best part, folks? It's still running. Oh, he got her shut off now, but what happens when it shuts off? It's not going to start. But that was a solid run for that tractor. As he's been fighting some gremlins with it, but that was what he was looking for.
Get a little more flow through the intercooler.
Like to thank some of our hot stock class sponsors. We have Channel Seeds and Ingram Family Farms. I'd appreciate what they do. One of our platinum sponsors is Hoover Tractor. You can see these tractors going down to work in the track today. Like to thank them for letting us use those machines.
Here's a good-looking tractor, ladies and gentlemen. John Foreman, the tractor he calls It's Always Something. This is a 540 cubic inch tractor, running intercooler, water injection on this tractor. All of them run water in this class. But this is a strong running tractor. It's a consistent top 3 to top 5 tractor every week. And when John does his job right behind the seat, this tractor's got a pedigree to it. It's been very, very consistent the whole time he's had it. He has a new tractor being built. He's been waiting on it for a couple of years. The frustration is starting to build, but he hung on to this one here. And he's kind of glad he did. But he does have a new light Pro stock on the way, a component chassis. It'd be a good-looking tractor when you see it. It's got the new style sheet metal on it, 64 series. So we're looking forward to that coming out, but until it does, he's got all reliable here. And if you want a tractor bad enough and you have a big checkbook, you can stop down the pits and he would probably let you take this home. .329.41 at 31.4 miles an hour. 329.41. He is right up there. Here's the one you're looking for, ladies and gentlemen. Terry Tanner with a tractor he calls a worst case scenario. This is our heavy hitter. It's been stomping all over us last couple years. This year, last week, it did get beat. Matt Houck got him out there at Mill Hall. So we're wanting to see how this is going to shake out here on this run. Because, yeah, Matt Siddall got him out there, yep. But, yeah, Matt would take it, though. But there's a couple of really strong runs right here, so we're very curious how this is going to shake out. Get it down, that's 356. Holy smokes, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a new leader by just a foot or so, just a foot or so. .377. That's what you call stinking up the show, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a new leader by just a foot or so, just a foot or so.
John Deere fans, here's another one for you. We got Brad Kramer from Milton backing up with his Fence Row Deere.
This is another big block John Deere, folks, and a heavy hitter in the class. It is not one to be taken lightly. Solid run from Brad. It looks like it's going to land in that second place area. Good, solid run. Good competition in this class here tonight. But 3:45.12, which would put him in the number 2 spot, solid right now. Some very good competition here tonight. Solid run for Brad. It looks like it's going to land in that second place area. Good.
Some sponsors we would like to thank is Affordable Fuels, B&R Farm Equipment, BS&B Repair Inc., Channel Seeds, CH Waltz Sons Inc., East West Drilling LLC, Foreman's Grain LLC, Hassler Diesel,
Still a couple to go, a couple of cases left here. Mr. Bauer's going to bring his case out here to see what he can do with it here tonight. Had a solid run with it last fall when he was here with us. That was a solid run here. Waiting for a distance here. Very interesting. He is right here in the pile with these guys. 324. That's about, he's right in the bottom side of that pile, but he is right here. Solid run. 324.69. Was a solid run here. Interesting. He is right here in the pile.
Central Petroleum Company, better known as Sempico Lubricants, is a trusted name for high quality and performance lubricants. Sempico Lubricants are proven to excel in heavy-duty applications with over 260 national and international championship pulling titles. Sempico Lubricant customers have proven the benefits and savings of trusting their equipment to Sempico Lubricants. If you own or operate trucks, tractors, or heavy equipment, call today 1-800-553-1891 or online at sempico.com.
Every season starts with decisions, not just what to plant, but why. Seed IQ is the industry's first product management platform, built to help you make confident product decisions before a single seed goes in the ground. From practical farm research to root reveal, silk reveal, and kernel reveal. Powered by AI, Seed IQ turns decades of data into practical, trusted insights backed by Beck's proprietary research. Don't just manage your fields, unlock the full potential of every product with Seed IQ.
Nate Criswell behind the wheel. He just graduated from high school last night, and it's a graduation present from Dad. But they are sharing the seat this year, and it is his turn. But it just turns out the day after he graduated, he gets to take a 15 to 1600 horsepower tractor for a ride. Too many high school seniors can say something like that. He made his debut with it here last fall and did a tremendous job. So it'll be fun to see. And he showed some good common sense behind the wheel that last hook, getting out of it when he did. And rather proud of his driving like that. He did a tremendous job. Usually could have torn up a lot of parts if he let out of it, and he knew the guy would make it quickly. I would make it quickly.
Some feedback. Massadole 336.10. Nathan Criswell, John Foreman, Nelson Harding with a little tractor that's not supposed to do it, and Matt Houck is your top 7.
Our sponsor for our Pro Street Gas Truck class is going to be
Central Petroleum Company, better known as Sempico Lubricants, is a trusted name for high quality and performance lubricants. Sempico lubricants are proven to excel in heavy duty applications with over 260 national and international championship pulling titles. Sempico lubricant customers have proven the benefits and savings of trusting their equipment to Sempico lubricants. If you own or operate trucks, tractors, or heavy equipment, call today 1-800-553-1891 or online at sempico.com.
About 3 hours ago, it's still pretty good.
Selinsgrove.